right. Welcome back for another video, I guess. This is continuing on with his part one, my core beliefs, section one, which is what marketing really is, my definition. I'm still under the defining and clarifying. So I already answered the in one sentence, how would I define marketing? For this question, I want to go over what the difference between, or what I believe the difference between marketing, branding, and sales is. And as I kind of alluded to when or didn't allude to, said specifically what I believe marketing is that it's salesmanship. So for me, marketing and sales, the only difference there would be that sales tends to be more on a one-on-one type environment, whereas marketing is a one-to-many type environment. Now, where branding comes in is, for me, branding is bundled in as part of direct response marketing. You'll hear a lot of branding marketers out there talking about how great branding is and all that. And honestly, to me, it's a bunch of BS. Branding is something that happens after people have been working with you for a while. Just because somebody sees your bright colors or your slogan a lot isn't going to make them want to necessarily do business with you, whether it's buy one of your products, one of your courses, user service, whatever it is. Although there may be familiarity, oh, I've seen that everywhere, that still doesn't move the needle. It doesn't get somebody to be like, oh, I've seen them around a bunch, so therefore I must buy from them. So that, in understanding that, is key to understanding why you shouldn't go after branding as a marketing strategy. Instead, what you want to do is you want to use branding as an extension to your current and past customers to make it easier for them to buy from you. So for example, if they buy from you, if your current customers just bought or your previous customers have bought from you before, and you have a specific branding, whether it's slogan, colors, whatever it is you want, that is shown in your next product, it allows them to easily figure out who is creating the product, because that's what branding is. It helps people identify, who owns this product, where is it coming from. And so if they have a very good experience with you, that the branding that is done after they're already a customer of yours makes it easier for them to decide whether they want to work with you or not. In that sense, branding is effective to sort of communicate, hey, this is me, which can get over a lot of the hurdles of, should I buy this? Now, that doesn't mean you can eliminate the should I buy this from your marketing messaging. No, I'm just saying your current and your past customers may think more positively of you. And if you have a theme or a brand that goes along with your products, it can be easy for them to identify that, okay, this is going to be more of this. I want that. It's kind of like, it's hard to look at it in real world terms, because a lot of people already have associations with things. And branding can also work against you, meaning you may have a branding strategy, but other people will associate your brand with stuff that you're not trying to associate them with. And therefore it'll bring your quality down. For example, if we say Amazon, right? If you see a product by Amazon, so it's an Amazon product, almost everybody thinks, okay, it's most likely some sort of cheap Chinese knockoff. They're not thinking high quality. Now, if that's their intention or not, I don't know. And I'm not saying that it is low quality. I'm saying that's the impression that's given from it. That is a branding that they may not want to associate with, but it's a branding that comes from people buying the products. That's why I say branding is a byproduct of people's experience with your products. You can try and force a fake brand out there. Oh, I want people to see me as this. But in the end, when it comes to branding specifically, people will associate or will have feelings or ideas about your brand based on their personal experience and the experience of those around them. And then even if they haven't used your product, they're going to use reviews or the people have to say. And if they decide to buy, they're going to match up what they've heard about you, the brand message that you may not want out there, but they're going to match up what they've heard about you with their experience. And if it aligns, then there's your branding. If you try and do brand marketing, nobody cares. Like, no one cares. They're not going to pay any attention to you. A lot of it, especially in today's day and age. If you go back a ways, having a George Foreman grill was something that you would look at as higher quality because you knew who George Foreman was. Same thing with a lot of these bigger brands, and whether it's a company name or a person would say, hey, this is my this, right? That messaging did well before the current era. In today's day and age, everybody's sort of hyper fixated on what people have to say, their thoughts and their opinions, and what a company's doing. So therefore, branding as a strategy is not something that I would say to pursue right now. Instead, you should pursue providing excellent products, customer service, so that your branding comes across as a high quality provider of whatever it is you do. And in that sense, that eliminates branding as something you should be thinking about doing for your business. It should just be about providing good quality. I'm not saying don't pick out colors and stuff like that, but don't get hung up on it, because you can change your brand colors, you can change your message whenever you want, and it will always come back to the customer experience and whether what they are doing, feeling, and seeing matches up with what you're saying. So a lot of times you don't have too much control over it. And if you try and exert control over it, people are just going to say you're BS and they're going to move on. So when it comes to the other two, marketing and sales, as I said, they're essentially the same. One is a one-to-one and one is a one-to-many aspect. You can't have strong marketing if you don't understand the sales aspect of your business. So the stronger you can get in a one-to-one environment of selling your product, the stronger you can be in a one-to-many. And a lot of this has to do with, yeah, you just sort of understand your audience's needs. Now, this comes to something later, which is understanding your ideal client avatar and the right messaging. But for this particular difference, what do I see the difference between marketing, branding, and sales? For me, one of these is not like the others. Branding can get kicked out. Don't bother. So what's the difference between marketing and sales? One's one-to-one, one's one-to-many. The end result is the same. One just happens at scale. And if you're not good at the one-to-one, you're not going to be good at the one-to-many. This is why also, if you look around, a lot of successful business owners are really good salesmen. They tend to be the best salesmen in the company for their product. And they have to be if they want to be able to market their product properly. They need to be able to sell it efficiently. Even in a one-to-one environment where they may not be good in one-to-many, that's okay. But they have to understand what it is their customer wants and how to appeal to them, their product, service, offer, whatever it is. This is also why if you struggle with sales and selling your particular product, you're going to struggle with marketing. This is not a bolt-on solution. You can't run a business and not know how to sell your product or service and hope you can hire somebody to do that. And the reason for that is those people are not as invested in your company as you are. I'm not saying you can't find somebody to go in business with, where you're co-owners or your partners or something like that. But I would highly suggest against starting your business thinking somebody else is going to handle your marketing and sales. You at least have to have enough grasp to be able to sell it on your own. But if something happens later on, you can understand, oh, it's this process, this part of the marketing process, this message is wrong. This part of our offer is wrong. That's why this isn't working. And if you don't have a handle on that, your business isn't going to succeed. So branding can kick out. Marketing is one-to-many. Sales is one-to-one. Both of those skills are crucial. And if you have to focus on one, focus on the sales. Sales is easier than you think it is. There's a lot of people who sell like super expensive sales courses, but it's really not the case. As I said in my previous video, the transference of emotion. How is this product going to help those people? And if you understand that and you have a solid product, you can sell it. That's also why I say a lot of times a good product will sell, even with crappy sales and marketing. And that's because even if you're not very good at it, people can sort of pick up what you're trying to say. And then if the product delivers, that helps sell your product even more. But if you have a crappy product, you can make sales with slick marketing and slick salesmanship, but eventually your company will fold in on itself because there's no core foundation. Anyway, this is sort of going on beyond what I wanted to discuss for this particular section, but that is how I would look at it out of those three. Ignore branding for now. Like I said, it has a place, but it's not something you should focus on, especially at any point in the intro story of getting customers in. That is something you do with customers who are currently there or later. There's a bunch of people talk about that aspect of it. Russell Brunson even has a book, I think it's like Expert or something like that, where he talks about creating a cult that has to do with branding after the fact. People who are get into your business love it so much that they're basically brand ambassadors, right? They're people who just love your product and want to talk to other people about it. So branding can kick out, focus on sales, focus on understanding why the person you're trying to sell to would want your product, and you just having a better mousetrap doesn't work. Nobody will beat your path. Well, no one will beat a path to your door because you've built a better mousetrap, because they're happy with the one they have. They don't understand why they need a new one. And that's where good salesmanship and marketing comes in. Anyway, I hope this brought you some insight. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.